recorded live right here in Little Rock, Arkansas. It's time again for Larry's Rants, Raves, and Reviews, and now here is Larry.
Randy Sams, welcome back for this episode. It's always a pleasure to have you. I always look forward to recording with you. I love your input. I love your wisdom. And so thanks again for coming back.
Well, thank you for the invite. I appreciate being amongst all the wisdom and knowledge that I'm in the room with me here today.
Well, I think
Thank you very much.
I was being sincere. You're just trying to be kind. Look, guys, I just poured my heart and soul out on the last 6 episodes, and I've got to tell you, I left nothing on the table. I said what I wanted to say, how I wanted to say it, and my ending thought was that I believe that it's time for a third party into our political system. And my entire reason behind that, wanting a third party, is because I don't think that we even currently have a two-party system.
No.
I believe we have a uniparty. It's a singular system. And I said this on the mini-series that I just did, and I'll just repeat it, and that is that I believe that the Democrats, their desire is to destroy America as we know it, and turn it into a communist nation, while the Republicans' desire is to pretend to care and pretend that they're going to try to stop it. But I believe it's one big uniparty that's just simply playing the games. So, guys, I said a whole lot of stuff that I wanted to on the last 6 episodes. So what's your opening thoughts?
Well, you guys remember the comedian George Carlin?
Yeah.
Do you remember one of his skits that he did was talking about government? And he used this, and I've used it in several other situations, but George Carlin says this, that it's all one big club, and you ain't in it.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
All right.
We've gotten to the point right now in 2026 where just because you see an R behind somebody's name, you can't automatically assume that that means they are Republican.
Yes, that's
now,
true.
When I campaigned for the primary in 25 and early 26, people would ask me if I was Republican. I'd say, no, I'm conservative.
I like that.
There's a difference.
Yes, there is.
Okay, because I think you need to set yourself apart and let people understand Christian first, conservative second. Then if you want to put the Republican at the end of that, that's fine. I'll be Republican.
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely not going to have a D behind my name. But unfortunately, because of the politics that we've had here in Arkansas, which has also affected who gets to go to Washington, D.C.,
Yeah.
we had open primaries up until the last, I think the 2026 summer convention for the RPA, Republican Party of Arkansas.
All right.
Up until that point, we had what was known as open primaries, which meant that even though you were a Democrat, you were a liberal Democrat.
Yeah.
You might have been a member of the DSA. Okay. You could still file as a Republican. You didn't have to be a registered Republican. You didn't have to attend any RPA meetings. But what happens is that, let's take Saline County. So Saline County, let's say 75-25, 75% Republican, conservative, 25% liberal Democrat. Okay. Yeah. If you're a Democrat and you want to try to win an election in Saline County, why would you run as a Democrat? You're not going to win.
No.
Sure.
Okay. So why not just go and file as a Republican?
Right.
If people like you and you get the votes, that's where we're at today. That's why you see, somebody came up with the terminology, what is it, RINO? I believe you used it in some of your last few episodes.
Yep. Right.
Republican in name only. Right. Okay. That's where that came from.
Yeah.
But I don't look at Republican. I'm looking for someone who will stand up and say, I'm a conservative.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's where my belief is.
Right.
And there's a difference.
Yeah.
I believe if you look at the way the Republicans, if you go to, you can Google it, look up the Liberty Conservative scores, and it'll give you their score for every U.S. House rep or senator that we have in Washington, D.C. Now, if I were to ask you, Larry or Randy, what percentage of a vote, if I was a U.S. House rep for Arkansas, state of Arkansas, what percentage of the time do you feel like I should vote conservative or Republican? Is it 50%? Is it 70%? Is it 90%?
I'd have to think that I would vote 100%.
So, okay. We have Steve Womack, who's from Northwest Arkansas.
Okay.
His Liberty conservative voting score is 52.
Wow.
Now, when I went to school, if I made 52 on my test, was that an A? Was that a passing score? No. So I ask you this, and the people that are watching, do you consider 52% of the time that you vote conservative, I guess, do you consider that to be really conservative?
Nope.
So that means 48% of the time, what are you voting as?
Well, I'd say a liberal, and at best, I would say that he's a moderate.
Yeah. John Bozeman, U.S. Senator, his score is 54.
Wow.
And we could go down the list. That's what concerns me, is that because I had someone ask me, what do you feel like would be the minimum score that someone who is in Washington, D.C. as a House rep or U.S. Senator, what do you feel like the minimum score would be allowable? Because, you got to play the game a little bit.
Sure.
Okay? I mean, are you going to be okay if someone gets 90%? I mean, that's better than 52.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
Yeah.
It ain't 100.
Yeah.
But it's better than 52.
Yeah.
We don't have anybody in Washington, D.C. from the state of Arkansas, whether it be in the House or the Senate, that is 90%.
Well, I gave 9 what I thought were solid reasons of why I believed that the Republicans wanted to lose. And if you'll remember, number 9 in my last episode is that the Republicans have not policed their party properly. We'll let anybody run as an R. And I say we, and I'm going to have to quit doing that because I'm really not a Republican. I'm like you. I'm a Reaganite conservative.
Yes, sir. And that's where I stand. And when I look at that, that's what's happened to not just Washington, D.C., but we've got it here in the state also.
Yeah.
I mean, in the state of Arkansas, we have a super majority. So in the House here in the Little Rock Capitol, for the House, you have 100 House members. Okay. I think there's 85 Republican.
Yeah.
That's a super majority.
Sure it is.
In the Senate, there's 35 senators.
Yeah.
There's 28 Republican, 7 Democrats. That's a super majority.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have any issues whatsoever with the laws, the acts, the bills that are being presented and passed, with them being any question whatsoever. Okay? Let's get, as an example, we've got a gentleman that's out of Saline County who's running for Secretary of State. He's a senator. His name is Kim Hammer.
Right.
During his Senate, I think it was in 2025, General Session 2025, he passed several different bills that became law, which made it almost impossible for us as grassroots citizens to run a petition or a referendum.
Wow.
Okay? It was already established in the state of Arkansas Constitution. I think it's Article 1, Section 5. I may have that backwards. It may be Article 5, Section 1, but it's in there somewhere. It was already established what you can and can't do if you're out there running a petition. You're not supposed to misrepresent what I'm asking you to sign. You're not supposed to misrepresent, I'm not getting your signature 3 times and your signature 4 times, whatever. But the laws are already in the books, but they just weren't being enforced. Okay?
Yeah.
So he passed, I think there were 7 or 8 bills, and one of them that didn't actually pass out of the Senate floor, he wanted to have his own Gestapo, his own police force in Secretary of State. Because he knew he was running for Secretary of State at that time.
Right.
Okay? And the responsibility for Arkansas elections falls where? Secretary of State.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
We found out how much power is really in that office.
Yeah. Okay. So I just use that as an example.
And we had a wonderful candidate that was running for that.
Brian Norris?
Yes, Brian Norris from Batesville, Arkansas, that was going to do a fantastic job. He sat right there in this chair that you're sitting in and just, overwhelmed us with his knowledge and with his leadership and all kinds of wonderful ideas.
Well, Brian Norris actually won the primary because there, it was a 3-way race. He actually won the primary He came in first. Kim Hammer came in second. And then the young lady out of Texarkana came in third.
Yes.
During the runoff election, Brian Norris lost by 918 votes.
Wow.
Yes.
But here's the difference. Brian, I believe, during the primary got over 90,000 votes. In the runoff election, I think it was just under somewhere between 45,000.
People didn't get out and vote.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So that had a lot to do with it. But you also have the fact that, and you could get with Brian to validate, verify this, but supposedly there was anywhere from $800,000 to $1 million that was spent in support for Senator Kim Hammer by out-of-state dark money, television ads, text messages, all of that, flyers. I mean, what I didn't like about it is how negative that the campaign went against Brian Norris, who served this country for 21 years.
Yes.
And retired.
Yeah.
Okay. And they were calling him like a communist.
Yeah.
He supported China. Okay.
Yeah.
And that he's a true conservative. He was supporting. He was pro-abortion. So there a lot of things were misrepresented. Let's just call it like it is. They lied.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, they felt like it was okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but you had a young man that would have made a fantastic Secretary of State, but they attacked him because he didn't fall into the little.
And the dirty politicians, the dirty politics. The lady who came in third in the primary, she immediately came out and said, "I'm not going to run again, obviously, so I'm going to throw all of my weight behind Brian." But there's rumor that her family and her business started getting some threats.
Yep.
Do you hear those?
Yep. I mean, again, rumors.
Yeah,
right?
rumors.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Allegations, whatever.
You know, it was a rumor about Brian, so we'll just throw out a rumor about that. And all of a sudden, the dark money moved in. She had to change her endorsement, if you would, and throw it behind Ken.
Well, that was what was upsetting is that, and I had conversations with Brian about this, that he was excited because the young lady said after the election, the primary, that she was going to promote him, support him, endorse him. Yeah. And because of that, she had to back off and do this. So there's a lot of negative things that I see within the, I'm going to have to refer to it as Republican Party because that's what they are, the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. That if people would open their eyes, educate themselves, and they would understand who it is that we really have representing us. Is it really a conservative? That's what you have to look at. Look at their background. Look at I mean, for me, if I was in Northwest Arkansas, there's no way I would cast my vote for Steve Womack. Your Liberty conservative score is 52. I'm sorry, Randy. I love you, but you failed.
I understand.
Okay.
Yeah. You could be my wife, and I still wouldn't vote for you.
Yeah.
You know.
Why would you want to put somebody up there that you know they already showing you who they are?
Before we started recording, you said, "What kind of pushback are you getting from this miniseries that you did?" And it's like I said, I've been getting so much, it's unbelievable. I mean, the liberals, they absolutely hate me. But half of them have only looked at shorts that we put out, to advertise, that kind of a thing. If they would only go and listen to the entire episode, they would see the balance. I'm not blaming the Democrats any more than I'm blaming the Republicans because it's one uniparty. I believe they're playing together and scratching one another's back because it's just one big party. And that's what I'm afraid that people will not understand, and they won't listen enough to podcasts like this and to others that are beginning to say, hey, it's not just the Democrats that are corrupt. It's the Republicans that are also as corrupt.
Yeah.
John Thune, do you really think that John Thune is a real Republican?
No. Well, Republican, he has the R behind his name.
Yeah, and I've got to say, again, point number 9 that I said is the Republican Party has not policed their party, because if you were that much of a flaming liberal, I would have said, no, you're not going to run on our ticket. We're going to run on somebody else. And if I'm not mistaken, I probably listed about 6 different examples of that on that last episode. That's why I keep saying that the corruption is so horrible. We have to have a third party. And let me try to put this on the track. Elon Musk, about a year or so ago, after his work with Doge, who we all 3 of us in this room applauded, and said, oh my gosh, look at the work that he did. One of the richest men in the world, and he comes out and says, I'm going to take a year off. I'm going to go to Washington, and I'm going to work within Doge, and I'm going to uncover all of this. After he uncovered it all, he made the statement, I think it's time for a third party. Why do you all think he made that statement?
He saw through it.
He saw the corruption on both sides, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's an embarrassment. I would have to be embarrassed to say I'm a Democrat. I would have to be embarrassed to say I'm a Republican.
Well, what's follow the money?
Yeah, follow the money.
Now, that's Randy's line.
Which Randy? Randy?
Randy and Randy?
Yep.
Okay. Now, you led me into something, so let me jump into this. When you want to talk about money, guys, let me cover this, because one of the big things about wanting to start a third party, you've got to come up with the money, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, I'm not going to bore you with a ton of facts, but let me just hit some highlights here. In the typical off year, the RNC, Republican National Committee, spends between $150 to $250 million. In the presidential election, they spend between $400,000 and $700,000. The DNC, the numbers match up. They spend all of that. Where the money comes from is individual donors, major donors, PAC money, all the dirty money, the dark money, Randy, that you've talked about, and we're going to get into that in just another moment. But what people don't understand, possibly, is that while the RNC and the DNC are spending hundreds of millions of dollars, the billions, and I say that with a B, the billions of dollars that are spent by the super PACs, the party committees, the nonprofit advocacy groups, the outside organizations, during a presidential election year or cycle, billions of dollars are spent. And I'm talking an enormous amount of money. They say in 2024, the Republicans spent between $4 and $6 billion, while the Democrats spent between $5 and $7 billion. So the only question that I would have is, could we start a third-party system? And if we do, how are we going to fund it? Well, I did a little bit of a research and said, because none of us have that kind of money, correct? Well, Randy, neither Randy jumped up and said, okay. All right. I found a list of some of the largest donors in 2024. I'm not going to run through them because I don't know a lot of them, okay? But the outside spending, these people, the largest donors, on the Republican side, one of the biggest donors, he's on top of the list, is Elon Musk, okay? And we all remember we did a couple of episodes that talked about he was throwing millions at this and millions at that. Guess what? Our old buddy, the guy that I like to cuss and fuss so much about, on the Democrat side, one of the largest, if not the largest, George Soros.
Right.
Mr. Communist, I hate America himself. Okay? So the bottom line is that the amount of money it would take to start a third party is enormous. But what if, and this is my dream, and if I'm dreaming, if it's a pipe dream, just let me dream on, guys, okay? Because I'm having some fun with it. I love thinking about it. What if President Trump said, I'm going to start a third party. We're going to call it the Patriot Party. And my friend Elon Musk and the other 6 or so guys in this report that are, ultra wealthy are going to take millions of dollars and throw into it. What if we took and had them throw millions of dollars into this? We start at the national level, the Patriot Party, and we start taking and we solicit the hand-selected good Republican conservatives, okay? And we said, okay, you get to come to our party. Now, we're going to police that party. We're going to police it hard. You're going to have to work your butt off to be conservative enough to get into the Patriot Party. And what if we could get all that money together, and what if enough Republicans would walk out? Think of it. And be conservative in the Patriot Party. Are you looking at me like it's a good idea or like I'm nuts?
No, I'm following you.
You buying in?
Yeah.
Buying in?
Yeah.
So we have enough people in the House, enough in the Senate. There may not be that clear majority, but guess what? We've got enough that we can block a lot of this insanity that's going on. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, you got to get the right people.
Okay.
And not only get the right people,
okay,
you have to get the people involved. I mean, what is the voting turnout in the state of Arkansas? What percentage? 25?
Is it?
30? It's low.
Yeah, you told us that.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. That's going to be the key, is getting the people motivated or angry enough that they will go out and actually cast their vote for the person in the other party. Not libertarian, not independent, but if you want to use Patriots as the name, the Patriot Party.
Okay.
Okay. So that would be the biggest question that I would have as far as starting a third party would be how do we generate the support from the people, the people, okay? Not all the time that we have to have the Elon Musk or the Waltons or anybody that you want to, the billionaires. It's great to have them.
Right.
You need those checks, believe me, okay? Yeah. But you got to have the people to go out and vote. My biggest disappointment in running as a politician is running for JP and then running for the state or for Arkansas State Senate was the lack of turnout.
Right.
It just doesn't seem that the people have an excitement. It's almost like they say, "What does it matter?"
Right.
So if we're going to start a third party, we got to give them something to show them that it matters, right?
And the younger generations do believe that way.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if you are 40, 45 and below, they do believe it doesn't matter. Why should I go out and vote?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, my children, and I shouldn't quote my children because they don't like me to, but I'll do it anyway. Maybe they won't listen to this portion. I've had my daughter look educated. I mean, just as educated and as sensible as a person as it can be. And she goes, but does my vote really matter? And I would love to stand there and argue with her and say, yes, it does.
Well, it's not just that,
but it's hard.
Yeah, what did President Trump just do the other day that ABC and NBC refused to televise?
Yeah.
Did he not talk about election integrity? Okay, so that's another big question.
Yeah.
Is that, you have people out there that are showing that these computers, the voting machines, the tabulators, can be manipulated.
Oh, yeah.
So we can be 100% in voter ID. I believe in voter ID.
I do too.
We could make 100%, make sure everybody that Randy Wright voted, and that's But when Randy Wright goes in and he pushes that machine, he pushes that button,
It doesn't go.
how does he know? Because see, the reader in the tabulator is not reading Randy Sams.
Yeah.
Or Larry Buttram or Randy Wright. It's reading a barcode. Now, I know you're a smart guy. Can you read barcode?
No, I cannot.
How about you,
My
Randy?
last one didn't go.
I flunked that in college.
My last vote did not go in.
Yeah.
It did not go in.
So see,
I
that's
voted for Michael White. It did not go in.
so. How do you know?
He looked. He saw hundreds and hundreds of people that did not vote for him. They voted for him, but that didn't go. It didn't go.
It didn't.
No.
It wasn't read or wasn't
No.
registered. Yeah.
And then there was all this, wait a second, somebody messed up, and then it all got pushed under the rug.
Yeah.
And now he said I could have filed and done a lawsuit. It would have cost me $200,000. He ain't got $200,000 to file for a lawsuit that he doesn't know he's going to win.
Yeah. So
And for a position that,
Pays $35,000 a year.
yeah, exactly.
well, but
Yeah.
how can you have a U.S. senator that makes $175,000 a year and have $10 million bankroll? How's that happen?
That's exactly right.
Yeah, or I saw Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham's net worth was only like $2 million. That's all. That's all.
So that tells me,
He was honest.
Yeah.
He was honest.
yeah. Or else he hid the money very, very well. But I would go the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was honest. That's what gets me is you have we have Senator Tom Cotton and his Democrat opponent, and you start to look at this, and it's like I feel like she's doing a good job from what I've read the reports. She's doing a good job in campaign fundraising.
Okay.
But he's got a war chest of $10 million at $175,000 a year, U.S. Senate. He may make a little bit more than that because he may be chairman of a couple of committees. But that's what I'm looking at. How do you fight that? How could someone like us three, one of us three, go in there and try to fight that when he's got a war chest already of $10 million?
Yeah.
Okay.
With the big money that the Republicans and the Democratic machines throw at elections, can a good, fresh face actually win? And I'm talking about in Arkansas or anywhere else.
It would be up to the people and the voting turnout. That's got to be it. And I brought this up, and we can talk about dark money, the PAC money later on. But here's what it cost for a conservative. If you wanted to run for the governor for state of Arkansas, how much do you think that would cost you just to file? Ooh. Just to file. What do you think the filing fee is?
I don't know.
It was $15,000.
$50,000 now.
$40,000 just to file.
Wow.
Okay. U.S. Senate
100,000
was $20,000. It's $40,000.
Is it?
Lieutenant governor is $25,000. I don't know how much does a lieutenant governor make. Do they make $25,000 a year? I don't know. It cost me $7,500 to file for the state Senate seat that I was going to. U.S. House is $30,000. So when you go down the line and you look at this and you see that you have good people out there that I feel like would make great representatives of their people. I don't want to call them politicians. They would represent the people in their district very well. But when you look at someone and it's going to cost me $40,000 just to file to run against Bozeman or Cotton.
Yeah.
Okay. $30,000 if I'm going to run against French Hill or one of the other guys.
That's just the start.
That's just your start.
And you say they've got like $10 million in their coffers.
Tom Cotton has over $10 million in his. Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders, I think hers is around $8. Okay. That can be verified, but I think it's somewhere around $8 million. How are you going to run up against that?
Well, and I remember, years ago here in Arkansas that they increased these filing fees because so many jerks, weird people would go and file. Yeah. Okay. And I know there's a happy balance to something. Okay. But we had some real Looney Tunes that were filing, and then it cost the state a lot of money, for these elections. So there's got to be a happy balance somewhere. But I'm also agreeing with you, not arguing with you on your point. And in fact, I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to research that and forgot all about it. So I'm happy that you brought it.
And you have to look at the state of Arkansas what is the average? What's the mean salary or household income here in the state of Arkansas? 50,000.
50, 60,000.
Okay. You're gonna ask someone to write a $40,000 check just to run when their household income is 50,000.
Mm-hmm.
You see, Arkansas is at the bottom when it comes to household income,
Mm-hmm.
but we are number one when it comes to filing fees for the Republican Party of the state of Arkansas nationwide.
Really?
Nationwide. Yeah. Do your research. Okay. If you're a Democrat, you get $5,000 to run for governor. U.S. Senate $5,200. State rep $700. Now, I don't know of any Republicans. If you're a Republican and or a conservative, you want to run, and you think you can get elected, go run as a Democrat and pay $700, and you can be a House rep. where if you want to be a House rep on the state on the Republican side, it's $3,000.
Tried that several times.
It didn't work.
It hadn't worked.
Well, I've said this that unfortunately, as conservatives, we do have Democrats in the Republican Party.
Yes, we do.
Mm-hmm.
You do not have any Republicans in the Democrat Party. Okay, just don't feel like it do. So that's where I look at. So the finances would be something to where I don't think the Libertarians require a filing fee. I think you have to have so many signatures. So that would be a thought process if you're going to start a third party. How are we going to find our candidates?
Okay.
Are we going to have a filing fee? Is it we have to have so many people sign your petition to run in that position? So, you got to get all that together. But the bottom line is you have to realize that we are going to be running. If you started a third party, you'll be running up against
You would.
the billion-dollar industries.
Yeah.
Okay? You put the Republican...
Well, that's why the only way it can happen is somebody at the top.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody at the top saying this is what we're going to do.
Well, see,
Or this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. And that's why I say President Trump ought to be the one. There's 80 million MAGA people that are ready to walk out of the Republican Party. That's 80 million voters, at least in my, people are trying to sell people on that MAGA is tired and upset with Trump and they hate him and they're turning on him. I don't believe that's true at all. We hate the Republican Party because we have the president, we have the Senate, and we have the House. And what do we have to show for it?
Nothing.
Absolute crap.
Have they
Not
passed the
one
SAVE
thing.
Act yet?
No, they have not.
Wonder why.
Because of Thune. They just won't do it. They just do not want any kind of integrity in our elections. So if we have somebody, like Randy just said, at the top that would start the party, bring all those millionaires and billionaires into the party and say, okay, we're throwing some serious money, and we just don't let just anybody in on this party. Think of the 80 million people nationwide that would say, okay, we're gonna come along for this ride. Because I believe in President Trump. I don't believe in the Republican Party. I'm not even, maybe I shouldn't even say this, but I will. I'm not a big Lindsey Graham fan. I thought he was a rhino. He swung, from one end of the scale to the other. I don't know how many times that he went overseas. I'm sorry. I'm not a big fan of his.
Well, I wasn't either.
I am extremely sorry that the man passed away.
Me too.
I'm sure he was a nice guy, okay? And everybody's selling us on the idea that he and Trump were such personal friends, but I never saw that before he passed away.
Well, I think during Trump's first election period, didn't they have a video of Lindsey Graham talking badly about?
I don't remember it. I really
Because
don't.
everybody talked bad about Trump at one time or another. You ain't going to get away from that.
Except for us.
I know.
Well, that's what you have to. So the question would be, if we take this next, is do you start locally, or do you think you're going to go straight up to the Washington, D.C.?
I was thinking that you start, and we can differ on this. I thought that we start at the very top, and then we trickle it down. We start with the House and the Senate,
Yeah.
and then we trickle it down to the governors, and then come on down into the other,
Well, Larry, get on that red phone over there. It's still working, isn't it? When we had that red line work, isn't it still working? Get over there and call him and tell him.
So apparently this Randy over here, shut up, Randy. So apparently this Randy's over here saying that you think maybe we ought to start at the bottom and work our way up.
I think that would be the best example. How do you eat an elephant?
Right.
One bite at a time.
Okay.
I just can't see it being accepted in Washington, D.C. And if you started at the top, if you look across the United States, how many Republican, and I'm using the word Republican,
Yeah.
how many Republican governors do we have?
I agree with that because, I mean, not unless you have a red phone and you can get to him. And ours is broke right now.
Yeah.
So the only other option is what he's saying
Yeah.
is to start it somehow to start it. Larry started.
Well, people thought that Elon Musk was kind of off his rocker when he said
Yeah.
it. What was it, a year and a half ago? And he said it, and I'm like,
Right.
I buy into it.
Right.
I like the
well,
idea.
Our Elon Musk phone's not working right now either.
No, it's not.
Well, I think Tucker Carlson in one of his recent episodes, I think if whether you like him or not, he even mentioned that it's time for a third party.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But for me, I think it would be easier to have the grassroots, not just here in Arkansas, but I mean, there's got to be other states and other people that feel the same way that we do.
Well, let's do this. This looks like a good point to break. Folks, we're going to come back for another episode. So I hope that you will tune in for that one. We're going to sit right here. We're going to pick right back up where this conversation ended, but we're just going to give you a couple of half-hour episodes. And so we will see you again, and I hope that you will have a great day.